Hi, I'm Igor. I'm starting to learn how to program games in Unity. It's a beginning of a series where I'll show my progress. I recommend you to watch my first video in which I explain why I decided to make them. In short, I don't feel very well and try to improve my productivity. We'll certainly make many mistakes, so constructive criticism from you would be very helpful. I made my first game in Unity based on Brachy's guides, modifying it slightly. Instead of creating levels manually, I programmed a spawner which places obstacles on the map, depending on score, from 1 to 7. They come towards the player in waves in increasingly shorter intervals. I also added one type of obstacle that moves sideways, just for the sake of variety. The game is endless, although my high score is only about 200 points. I called it Najlepsza gra wszechczasów, which means the best game of all time, because it definitely is. The next game will be a simple pixel art platformer with elements of overcoming obstacles and opponents. I will develop it over the next few videos, learning different things on the way. I use Brachy's guides as well as the other sources. I started my work by learning the basics of tile map creation, to the character movement and so on. Then I drew my own tile set, which took me some time. Eventually I was quite satisfied with the result, despite the simplicity. I wanted to draw some simple background graphics right away. At first I had no ideas, but eventually I drew some snow and trees and it went somehow. Then I opened my simple concept of a fiery character and improved it a bit. Added a short 4-frame animation. I wanted my character to be able to shoot fireballs, so I created this with even simpler animation. The general theme of the game is to move the fiery character called Firewisp. He travels through the frosty land, and when he falls into half-frozen water or is defeated by icy creatures, he dies. Very simple, but you have to start with something. I put my simple tile map into Unity and implemented movement with jumping. I also added fireball shooting. I added an opponent, a frosty version of the player. I'll deal with it in the next video. Lucky fellow was resistant to my fireballs. After adding a simple code, the enemy is no longer immortal. Yeah, and I had problems with that for a while, but I fixed it quickly. No animation of death so far, but all in good time. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but as you can see here, I haven't quite polished my graphics. I'll have to change it later. Time for an all-day break for custom drawing. Done. The last change I'll show in this video concerns the background. I thought I'd change it a little bit, so I added a slight gradient. When I put the background in Unity and copied it, I saw that it didn't quite look well. Another thing to improve in the future. I also found a very useful tutorial made by Danny and used it in my game. I added a parallax effect and looping to both layers of background. As you can see, it works very well. Finally, I drew a simple map. For now there is no death implemented, so when I fall down, nothing happens and I can walk on the water. I also have a feeling that in some places the foreground and background graphics are biting a little bit, mainly near the water. I have to keep this in mind. That's end of this video. I encourage you to give me advice in the comment section and subscribe to not miss any updates. Bye.